American families, the holidays begin when they set up the Christmas tree. But for some, this holiday tradition comes with safety hazards that people often overlook. From festive candles to strings of lights, holiday decorating carries fire risks and other safety concerns. Joining us today is John Dringenberg, Director of Consumer Safety at UL, with tips on safeguarding your home and keeping your family safe this holiday season. Good morning.
Good morning, Carly. Nice to be with you.
Yeah, you look very festive over there, but it is true that all this holiday decorating can create some safety concerns that I think we are all guilty of overlooking. So what are some of the big ones?
Well, we are guilty because we're so busy. We are doing so many different things, and it's a very exciting time of the year, but the reality is we have to take a few seconds to think about safety. And that starts with the tree. When you're shopping for a tree, make sure you come home with a fresh tree. If you like a tree, run your hand through the branches. If you end up with a handful of needles, the tree is way too dry and should never be brought into your home. Also, if you've got a tree that you want to take home, make sure they cut an inch or two off the base. This gives you a nice fresh cut on your tree and will help it absorb water. And that's the other thing you have to do when you get home. Put that tree in water and water that tree every day. Trees absorb a lot of water, and a watered tree is a safer tree. The other thing to remember is try to keep the tree away from heat sources like radiators and fireplaces and heat vents. That tends to dry the tree even faster. But remember, no matter how well you water that tree, the trees will only last about 4 weeks. So plan your festivities around that 4-week limit and get the tree outside after the 4 weeks.
Well, and speaking of tree and things that are hot, putting it around, the lights on the tree, how dangerous are those sometimes? I know when we put our, is there a number of how many light strings you can put together? What do we need to keep in mind with lights?
Well, you know, that's really a good question. Today, many people are using the newer LED lights, and LED lights are much more energy efficient, and they're not quite as hot as some of the older style lights. So the LED lights are a good alternative if you're shopping for new lights. The thing to do is to remember, when you're pulling your lights out of storage, take a look at them. If you're finding you've got cracked sockets and frayed wires, that's the kind of thing that you want to look out for. If you have that, don't try to repair it. Just throw that light string or that decoration away. Go to the store, get new UL listed decorations. It's cheap enough and it's good insurance for you and your family. Also, if you're going to be decorating outdoors, make sure you know that the red UL in a circle signifies that the decoration is suitable for outdoor use. And that's something that many people forget if you're going to do outdoor decorating. These decorations have been given extra tests for rain and for cold weather. If you've got a decoration that has a green UL in a circle, that's a good decoration, but it's only for indoor use. It has not been given those extra tests. So green means indoors, red means indoors or outdoors for decorating. The other thing to remember if you're decorating outdoors, never use metal nails or staples on your house. That could damage the wiring, and that damage could cause a shock hazard or a fire hazard. Look how some of these staples are piercing the wire, the nails are piercing the wire. That's not a good thing to have happen, and you don't want a fire during the festive holiday season. The thing to use are the plastic hooks that are available at hardware stores and home centers everywhere. They come in as many different sizes and shapes, and it's much easier to put up the lights with these plastic hooks, and more importantly, it's much easier to take the lights down after the season is over.
Ah, I didn't know they made those. Pretty cool. Any other last-minute tips that we need to remember during the holiday season?
Certainly, the one thing that you should remember to do is make sure that if you're going to use candles, to be very careful with them. But if you have pets and small children, candles sometimes get dumped over. Make sure you consider using LED candles. They look just about the same as real candles, but there's no heat given off, there's no fire in the candle, and it's something that is definitely safer. So we always recommend using the LED candles, especially around the holiday season, because you should never leave a room with a lit candle. And that's very hard to do because you might want to run out of the room for something that you need, and you come back, and very often we get reports of fires that happen when people say, I just left the room for a few seconds when I came back. The dining room table, for example, was on fire because one of the taper candles fell on the table. So be very careful with candles, especially around the holiday season.
Yep, and especially around kids. I have 2 young ones at home. They get into anything and everything they're not supposed to. John,
so you know from firsthand experience.
Ah, yes, I do. John, is there a particular website you want to send us to this morning?
Yes, UL has a great website at ul.com. We've got safety tips for the holiday season and safety tips for year-round activities. Take a look at ul.com.
John, thank you so much. Happy holidays. We, of course, will put that info on our website as well, fox4morningblend.com.
Up next, how does a trip to Lake Tahoe, Cancun, or even a new Viper sound? Up next, how you can win big when we chat with the Golisano Children's Hospital. Stay with us.